do. So, as an update, see the grass is high pretty much everywhere. Uh, in the winter time I can keep up with it, uh, but in the summer I can only keep the paths open. Normally, if we came up through here, you would see a clear path through there, through the beehives, and things like that, and clear paths to everywhere in the winter. But yeah, summertime it gets so bad that I have to ask one of the neighbors and pay them for their tractor and have them come out and mow this stuff, because see I can't even move through here, and the honey makes so much money. And just like this, like, see, like this got knocked over by a storm, but you see all the bees, you see how active it is. That's right, get away from it, dummy. Sugar don't know no better, see, because now that she's stirring the bees up, so now I gotta back up from all the hive area, period. Because see, if she knocked that over, all of us be getting stung up real bad. So the deer are very active. They eat me out of the house and home, I'm gonna tell you, because even though my tomatoes and stuff are doing well in greenhouse number 1, the deer are coming in there. They're eating these plants up. It's just that they're too big, and that most of it they don't like because it's not tender. Go ahead, so I could hurt you again. Be a hard head and learn the hard way. Hard head make for a soft ass. Let me tell you that. So what I really need is the walls up, and the doors on each end of all the greenhouses. Like, I don't even need the roof. It's not necessary except for winter. I just need all the walls to be up and all the doors to be on. That'll keep the deer out of there, and I can survive off of that. So that's part of the problem, because I don't have that. Like, they cleared out all my okra and everything else, most of my melons, and they are eating off these melons now. But see, I only really have the middle section now. That's it. I planted all this whole field, and they've just been tearing me up, and I planted it over 3 times over. So I was telling you, even like when my staples and stuff ran out, I came and threw some cinder blocks up here to hold it down. And reason why I'm thinking that the staples got pulled up, because I think deer were plucking this over. They were kicking it or something, so that's what I go through. And look how high the grass is around this, and mind you, I cut grass every day. I can't even plant in here because of that, because of the walls and stuff. And those beds got overgrown. I de-weeded them 3 times now. Without there being walls or nothing, all it takes is a breath of like air. And see how many seeds is on the tip of that? All through my beds. And no, the deer don't eat that. They eat all the plants I put in there. So that's that. So even now, like on my way to the cemetery, you see it's barely clear. It's barely clear through here. So I have to, and I just did this like last week, cutting down to the cemetery. And then had to, man, bug just hit me now. I got the dogs working them. I chased a herd of deer off of here. Especially if there was a big herd in this copse of trees right here. So that wasn't good. And right there by that bush, that's where the animal cemetery is. I bury them all up in that area. And yeah, there's a big buck yesterday. I had the dogs run off, and he just straight up cleared that fence like no problem, like right over it, disappeared. But he almost hit me, man. I was like, oh my god. So I was down here doing maintenance on this well. I don't know if you can see it or not, because the grass and stuff is so high. And like a whole herd of deer just came from up out of there. So that's a well. So you know, I just walked through a bunch of spider webs. And so here's where the 3 ponds drain out at. So when all that flooding went on, I lost a bit. Shoot, more spider webs. Of the land bridge here too. So yeah, it's not looking too well. This is where the 3rd pond drains out off the property. That's the property edge right there. But you see that big wash like through there during the flooding. There is a pen over here, but it's too much to clear out. I've been in there several times, and you know, I'd have to put something in there that would eat like my goats or something. Oh, next time I start doing, man, there's so many spiders overnight. Shoot. And yeah, see, there's a even bigger web. The camera even went into it. But this piece of gate is down. Is how they did it. And here's how they see it. And I put a gate there instead of just putting a split in the fence where you gotta wire it up and unwire it every time. It's so hoodish, so ghetto. And you could just do something proper. But yeah, there's a field back here that's fenced in, and I'd rather put my goats up in here next time than to have them where I had them before and the coyotes get to them. Because as you can see, that's secure fencing indeed. Fresh deer track right there. Oh look, little red frog. I mean, that's all I hear all night anyway. It's like so many frogs and stuff here on the farm. So I hardly ever take y'all through the other areas. I buried my cousin Isaac here, by the way. Here's where my cousin Isaac was going to build his house before he died very suddenly. And that would have been cool, because then he could have kept an eye on this pasture right here for me. That's fenced in. But, you know, it is what it is. And we'll keep making our way around. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not too well. That's pond number 3, and it ends right there. And that pasture I showed you is way back down there at near that tree line. All right, and for this section around this pond, because that pond ends about there. All right, and that's where that pasture goes up to about there, but that pond ends right around here somewhere. All right, for keeping that section like that and not fishing it and letting wild birds and stuff land in there and fish, the farm does get a grant every year for that. But so that doesn't bother, you know, the business here at all, because we still got 2 other ponds that are very fishable and accessible with ease. So here we come pulling up on the gun range. I haven't cleaned this for a minute. Reason why we do the gun range here is because of this embankment at the property line. Okay, that kind of catches like bullets or anything, so it don't go flying off the property. So there's just little miscellaneous junk from the farm back here where people can come out and shoot it, and this, that, and the third. So you see, you know, plenty of bullet holes and everything out here. Like this old bag cooler, and like there's 50 million bullet holes from 50 million different calibers out here and whatnot. And so this is the gun range. I gotta do some cleaning out here, man. It's just so hard. I'm trying to get ahead on stuff, and it's me by myself. I'm even contemplating, like, you know, giving up and going. So you can see it's been peppered with so much buckshot, bird shot, bullets, you know, everything else. And I barely went through a third of the farm just showing this. So after the gun range, we're pulling up on this land bridge right here. This is the land bridge between pond number 2 and pond number 3. We're not going to cross here. It does look pretty clear, even though it's high as hell, but it means I need to get down here and do some work on it. And that's the property line where you see them trees, but see that other fence there and those trees that looks like the property line? It's not. Those are wooded acres that belong to the farm. I very rarely go up in there. That's where the coyotes come from at the time. So if you can get a better look, this pond number 2. And I do come back here, and like when I have fishing customers come and like open this up more where it's more accessible. And here was where my uncle was gonna move. So there's septic system over here, electricity, plumbing, everything's already laid in the ground over here. One of my uncles wanted to put their house over here, and then I guess he changed his mind. See, telephone lines, everything's already over here. Just needs a house, because see, he would be overlooking pond number 2. If you could see greenhouse number 1 right there. And it looked like he put a footer. See, there's a footer here for a building already. You know, he just never made it out here. Same thing like with my cousin Isaac, except for, you know, he died suddenly. Yeah, because see, there's another footer. And so I'll show you guys. This fence is the property line between here and 113 wooded acres. See, there's a hunting stand right there. I know the people, so they let me know when they coming out here, because they be like, yo, you know, you gonna be near the back fence and da da da. But see, this fence here, that the property don't stop here. It goes more, all them woods there, those are our woods, the farm's woods. And I really don't go through there too much because of that. So, and now you can see pond number 1 from here. And you see the back of my building there, where I'm currently living. So there's the land bridge between pond number 2 and 3, and that's where we're gonna go back over. Even though there's another one over here, I don't like it because it gets too swampy, so I don't like using it. So there should be a hand well over here. There's a hand pump well. One of the wells are over here. This would be well number 4, but this is the only one that's hand pumped. There it is. You see, I don't want to get no deeper because, man, it's thorny over here. See? Oh man, see, more spiders and stuff too. But yeah, you just pump that like this, and the water comes up the pipe. I haven't used it since last summer, but there it is. So yeah, I gotta make it through this area. It's still a little swampy after the flooding though. See, it's still a little swampy. Come on, y'all gonna get a little muddy. Get going, don't play in it. See, it's still a little swampy on this side, but that's pond number 2. Pond number 1, but like I said, you can see the drainage lines. And so we're going to take this land bridge back over. Hey, let's go. Because there's a path that I usually keep clear around there, but it's not clear right now. Jackson, let's go, fat boy. He up on the hill taking forever if you don't see him up there. Let's go, Jackie boy. And so there's 50 million things to be done, and it's just hard doing them by myself. So as you guys seen, there's the drainage. Once we finally got that clear, and I marked it with this pole, so I know. And as you usually see, I usually keep this clear of trees and everything, and you can see here that I have been cutting this back on a regular basis. The problem is now, while this is so low here, is that the actual tree itself during a big storm fell. But it's still alive. It's just cracked, and I need to cut it somewhere else to bring it back closer. So here we're coming up on the back of the buildings now. Here's where I house the goats, but I use that shed for storage and stuff now, rather than housing the goats. So as you can see, like I said, look, it cleared up, but you see it's still swampy in here a little bit. It's dry, but see how it's messed up. So a lot of places during that flooding messed up a lot of the land bridges, and it's gonna cost money to clear it up, you know what I mean? And I just hope that the family gets together to make it happen. People thinking they're gonna do this and that, or they need 1 million acres, but it's just them. You don't. It's too much. I'm telling you, this 15 is too much for me. I can't even manage all this by myself. And so I let the young bucks run wild for a little bit. There's me, Joe Black Jr. I wish you would, dummy. I wish you would. You already know that space belongs to them. You got your space, and you keep your own space. I wish you would. Why you think I left that gate open? They're allowed to come out here. It's their space. You go play somewhere else. So me, Joe Black Jr., let him out for a minute. Sorry. But I gotta keep it 100, man. I ain't faking the funk for nobody. And so he's gonna end up being a pretty good rooster, man. But see, he's not mature enough. Neither is that other rooster or them 2 hens. So I forgot to bring their water over here, which I'll get to in a minute, because I took their water containers out. Once again, my custom mixture. Move, Nina, let that rooster through. Nina, you heard me just scream on them 2. Come on in here, Nina. No, I did not call you in. I said Nina, because I need her out this doorway so this Meet Joe Black Jr. can get his little butt inside. Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's go. Come on, buddy. Here. Come on. Go on. So basically I had to end up catching him. He's so young and don't know. What did I tell you? Hard head. Hard head make for a soft ass, I'm telling you. Last time I'm gonna tell you. Nina, go on out there so she don't want to come in here. Go on, Nina. Go on. See, I don't like the little dogs in here because they play. Nina and Jackson are allowed in here, but they're not. See, and all their play excites the birds. And I don't need the birds panicking. I need the birds to be as calm as possible at all times. Get out. short flight for him. Of course, I've seen the big birds like fly all the way from the coop all the way out over the fence. And we'll go feed them, and then I'll get back with you in a second. So nobody has been out since that last attack that took reds and a couple hens. Even this fence line right here, that's not the property line. That paddock belongs to the farm as well. The next paddock over. And of course that paddock is that paddock with the pump house right there, the largest well. But behind that is, if you go from here, and so you have this bit of field here, and you got a bit of woods, but it drains down into a swamp before pond number 1. You know why? You know why you're gonna have a bad day, honey? Right? You know why you're gonna have a bad day? Because I can talk and make videos without your help. I told you to stay out there. And because you come in, Sugar follows you, now she gets in trouble. So get going. Little hard head. And so that's it for today, y'all. You know, a little checkup. And that's why Jackson ain't over here. See, because them two, they do too much, and then they set him off, man. And I'm surprised Nina could tolerate it this morning. So basically, my 2 older dogs, the 2 brindles, don't mix with them too often unless they're working, because of how, like, they don't have no focus. And that's what I can say. I gotta keep them focused. So all that, the yelling and stuff, I don't hurt my dogs or nothing like that. And you heard her yelp near that beehive. That's because I grabbed her by the back of the neck, like a parent would. I picked her up and tossed her the other way, so she didn't bump that beehive and, you know, get disturbed in bees, because we had all been messed up. Like, even though it seemed like Nina and Jackson were further away, they weren't far enough to where bees won't still come get you, type deal. So we'd all been getting bit by the bees for knocking that hive over, and you know, I just don't do it. So till the next episode, y'all, it's probably the longest one I ever did on the farm. Love, peace, happiness.